Hi, I am with Amy with ZD Media. She's going to share about what to expect, and I'm going to tell you about when we went to a couple of them and a mom standpoint and a small business owner, how it's advantageous for you to give it a try too. So,
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much for chatting with me.
Sure.
I am a mom and a business owner, and I also I have a marketing agency. And I also understand that if you're not a marketing expert and you're running a business, marketing can really suck. It's hard to figure out what to do, where to spend your money, and you don't really have a whole lot of time for it because you're trying to run your business. And so that's what this marketing summit is for small business owners who do a lot of their own marketing or want to learn how to outsource their marketing, but they're not really sure where to start. So that's why I started it. This is our third year doing it. This year it is on May 9th at LCC West. I have a passion for helping small businesses. I just want to make marketing easier for people. And the other thing that we're really stressing this year is if you are going to outsource some marketing, what should you expect to pay for those services, like a range? Because that's really hard to figure out sometimes. And there's a whole range of things. And the costs seem to be all over the place. So kind of understanding a little bit of if you're getting a good value for what you're paying for. And then we're also having Dr. Darla Bishop, who is a local financial expert, and she's going to talk briefly about how to think about a marketing budget. And that's a thing that's really hard sometimes. A lot of businesses or small businesses don't even have a marketing budget or haven't really thought about it. They're like, oh, well, we'll run that ad, or maybe we'll do some marketing when we've got some money left over. And kind of thinking a little bit more about investing back in your business and what that looks like.
as a mom and a business owner, what sort of challenges do you think that you see other mompreneurs facing most of?
Right, sure. My kids are now 20 and 17, but I, started this when they were a lot younger, and I worked from home. So part of the thing is, if you're at home and you're working, people don't always understand you're working because you're at home and you're like, oh, you can run to the doctor's appointment or this or, whatever. And you do it because you have to, and those things need to get done. But it's also hard to just make people understand that you're working.
Right.
So that's really hard, and that whole juggling act. And then thrown into the mix of that is marketing your business, which is this whole other thing. And so whatever tools and things that you can find and do to make that easier is gold, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Sure.
So you attended the first two summits that I had, right? So the first one was in 2022, and then we did one in 2023, and we skipped last year. So I was wondering, what stood out the most to you at those summits?
I think you get an opportunity to meet a lot of people that you normally wouldn't interact with, and you might not interact with them again, but they know who you are, and you know who they are, and you've made a connection. So it was so much stuff in one day, and it was so organized. You had a lot of opportunity that I don't think that I could have found on my own.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that, because I think sometimes information can be overwhelming too, right? Too much at you at one time. What do you think was your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway was that I know myself best. Julie and I both know what we're providing the community best. And if you don't put yourself out there and possibly get a yes, you might get a lot of no's, but no's are going to be opportunities for how can it change to a yes? And then also, you've just made a connection. The first one we went to was more about confidence and how much admitting to what we didn't know. Or, you don't know what you don't know, right? And you can't, and there's some of this stuff you can't fake it. If you don't know, it's okay, and it's okay to say I don't know, or I can get back with you about that. I think that's I think I grew up a lot in that one day, and then taking it and digesting it later.
Yeah. Well, you made a really good point about the confidence part, because networking is a big part of being a business owner, and you have to talk about your business, and that is marketing. You are marketing every time you do that, and so dialing in that what you're saying, your elevator pitch they call it. And we do on purpose build in times during these summits for networking, for people to talk with other business owners. I love the fact that there's a kid in the background here. That's so nice. We're at a coffee shop. I love hearing that. I did want to explain a little bit about this year's summit too, to what to expect, because the first year we had all these breakout sessions, and people could decide what kind of track they wanted to go to, what type of marketing they wanted to learn about. In this one, everyone's going to go through the same presentations. So the people stay, the speakers rotate, and we're creating what we're calling a playbook. Everybody gets this playbook. It's a workbook. And so the first presentation is I'm doing it, and it's on branding. So I'm going to be talking about branding and what it is and what it isn't, but then I'm going to be asking questions like, how do you feel about your branding in your business right now? Like what scale of 1 to 10 or whatever. Do you think you need to work on it? And then if you are going to work on it, like, are you going to do it or are you going to outsource it? And if you outsource it, what does that look like? So at the end of the day, every business owner is going to end up with this basically a playbook for themselves with the priorities that they have for their marketing, what they need to work on now, what they're going to hire out. And so they have an action plan, because that's one of the hardest parts about marketing is like, marketing is so many things. And what is going to work best for my business? Is it Instagram, or maybe it's a direct mailer, or maybe I don't have to worry so much about Facebook because of these reasons or whatever. And you don't have to think, I got to do all the things in marketing. You don't have to do all the things in marketing. You just got to do what's going to work for you. And that's what we're really trying to help business owners dial in, because the whole point of the summit is to make the chore of marketing easier for you. And then in that workbook, there's going to be all kinds of resources and tools and things like that that'll help people too. So how do you think what some of the things that you learned in the summit, how do you think that impacted your business or how you looked at marketing afterwards?
It got me a little more organized, and the idea that you don't have to do everything.
Right.
You'll drive yourself just batty. Why do you think the summit is especially important for moms who run businesses?
So as a mom, business owner, you feel like you have to do all the things, not just all the things in your business, but all the things in your family, all the things going on, that kind of stuff. And so if I can make one area of that easier for you, the marketing part, then I've done my job. And that is why you should go as a mom business owner, because we are really dedicated to helping you make your marketing easier. What would you say to a mom business owner who is like, this summit sounds really good, but it's a whole day and I don't know if I have time for that?
It's not any more time that you're already spending doing research, and you're handing it to you or us. You're giving us a playbook. You're going to walk away with more than you're going to get by yourself. It's worth the time.
Yeah, I think so too. And I also think that you're investing in yourself and you're investing in your business. And as a small business owner, it's often hard to remember that you have to not only work in your business, which is what you do every day, but you work on your business, which is the marketing plan and that kind of stuff. And it is important to take time to do that, and we don't always do that or do it enough. And this is like a whole day where you can do that. And it's kind of a break from what you do every day. And in the past, we did like a whole bunch of prizes and drawings because all the sponsors and speakers gave stuff away. And that was really fun. But it took up a lot of time, and because we want to get through the whole program, we just decided this year that we're going to do 2 what we're calling scholarships. So 2 winners just randomly picked from the people that are attending. Buy a ticket, you're in the drawing. And those scholarships can be used towards any service with any of the speakers or the sponsors that are there. We're going to have we're calling it vendor row, and there's about 12 sponsors that are either other marketing services or business to business services. So there's insurance and financial advising and things like that that are all part of being a business owner. So if you win the scholarship, I will pay them to work with you to get the service that you want with that scholarship. I'm really excited about that.
I don't think that you know how much you need all that stuff either when you first start.
True.
And if she's handing it to you on a platter, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah.
What kind of support or community can moms expect at the summit?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, like you said earlier, you met a lot of people and you networked and things like that. And I think one of the things that's important, being a business owner in general, or even like a solopreneur where you're doing most of the work, maybe you're working from home, maybe there are some days where you're just like in your home office and you don't even talk to people. I have those days, right? And then I'm like, I gotta go out in public and talk to people because I'm feeling lonely. I think that it's important to be around other business owners, realizing that we all have a lot of the same struggles, we all have a lot of the same questions, we all don't have all of our stuff together all the time. And you can't know all the things and wear all the hats and do all the things. I mean, you might be, you're really good at what your business is, but maybe you're not so good at the finance part or the bookkeeping part or the marketing part or whatever. And it's really comforting and reassuring to realize that we all don't have it all figured out. And that's okay, because when you're out networking and talking about your business, you're like, I'm an expert in this, and you have to really put on your game face and all that, and just to know that we're all like there's all areas that we all struggle with, and then making new friends, reconnecting with old friends, having that community, and then having like the afterward, the follow up after it. If you make connections with people, and then you can go out coffee with them later and make that relationship, or the resources we give out, everything you learn, hopefully will transform into the whole next year of helping your business. And then and me and the speakers and stuff are all always here in the Lansing area, always here for you.
What are you most excited about for this year's summit?
I am really excited about the whole playbook. That is a new thing that we didn't have before, and really helping people walk away from the summit with something that they can put into action immediately. You go to summits, I love these kinds of things, and you get swag, and you get flyers and pamphlets and information, and you take notes, but then you have to organize all that afterward and figure out what was useful, what wasn't. And this playbook that we're giving everybody is a way to organize and really prioritize what you need to do. So you're walking away with this document that says, this is what I'm going to do now, this is what I'm going to do later, this is what I'm going to hire out. And I think that is worth the price of admission.
I would agree.
Yeah. So since you've been to the summits before, and even knowing that this is a different location and a little bit of different format than the previous ones, do you have advice for any mom business owners who are going to attend, what to expect or what to prepare for?
One, have 2 or 3 sentences down of how to share yourself. Have business cards.
Yeah.
And also I started doing this a little differently. Either have I put our QR code on a keychain, or put it on your phone face, so that when people, and wherever you want the people to go, but if that's like Instagram or Facebook, when they get there, just tell them to like it and you'll connect later. And
That's
then
a great idea.
You have not only have you made a connection with them, but you also have somebody else to share your stuff with.
One of the feedbacks we got from the first year, because we had lunch and coffee and stuff, but some of the feedback was have more snacks. So we are going to have snacks there this year, but it is a whole day, and so if you are a snacker like myself, might want to bring your own snacks or whatever. Also, sometimes if you just throw a bunch on the table for everybody sitting at your table, that make friends that way.
Sure.
That's a good thing. But we will feed you. There is a Canva presentation. It's about graphic design and Canva, so kind of the importance of good graphic design in general, and then Canva. I'm not presenting that, so it's actually done by Alicia James with Flamingo Consulting, and the way that she's presenting it is tips and tricks and how to either get started with Canva, because everybody at the summit's going to be starting from a different place, right? But maybe some lesser known tips and tricks or things to make it easier, basic graphic design principles. Because we've all seen those graphic design things where it's there's too much going on, the hard to read font and stuff like that. And so just kind of some of those things to think about, and then also how to create some Canva templates, your brand guide within Canva, so that every time you go to make something, your colors are all there, your logo's all there, so some things like that, really how to make it easier to use Canva to just create some cool graphics.
That's great. I enjoyed that. Can you give us a rundown of maybe what the schedule looks like?
Yeah. So we're going to get there. There's going to be registration, networking, check out the vendors, get your coffee. And then we're going to have a keynote speaker. That's Regina Carey, and she's a local legend, joy instigator, I think she calls herself. And she's just going to be doing a keynote, pumping everybody up. She's going to talk a little bit about imposter syndrome and how to get over that, and make you feel like a bad boss. And then we're going to have a shorter presentation from Dr. Darla Bishop about how to think about your budget, because you can't really think about marketing until you know what your budget is. And then we're going to go into the program. So the first session is me talking about branding, and then there's going to be websites and SEO and the Canva graphic design. So there's 3 of those sessions. And then we're going to have a Q&A panel with those 3 presenters. Because that was another big takeaway that we got from the other 2 summits, was that people really like the Q&A sessions. And it also helps us marketers know what people's questions really are. Because we don't always know exactly what people are struggling with or what they want to know. So that will be really helpful. And then there's lunch. So I got a whole hour for lunch, networking, talking with the vendors, that kind of stuff. And then the second half of the program is going to be talking about print marketing. So it's Missy Trudell with Paper Image. And she's going to be talking about all the different kinds of print marketing and maybe some things that you haven't thought about outside of business card and brochure. And then social media, so that's going to be me again. It's not going to be like a deep dive into any of the different platforms. It's going to be more of like, what are these different platforms used for? And so you can make a determination about which ones you should maybe concentrate more on, because you don't have to do all of them all the time, right? And then how to organize your social media and some tools to automate some things. And then we're going to do video. So Paul Schmidt with Uno Dos Video is going to be talking about how to incorporate video easily into your marketing. And you don't have to be a video expert. You don't have to have a video studio, like all these things. You can do stuff like this with our setup in a coffee shop. But how to kind of very easily incorporate some short videos into your marketing. And then we'll have another Q&A panel after that with those three presenters. And then at the end we'll do the wrap up and give the scholarships and stuff away, and then it's time to go home. Or if you get a VIP ticket, you can go to our VIP party, which is right down the street at Eagle Monk Pub and Brewery, and we're gonna have like a little networking session there, some more food and drinks, and doing a little trivia, like marketing trivia. That's hosted by Jackie Crumnow. She owns Now Marketing, so she's like so fun. Yeah, she's gonna make it really fun. There's only 50 VIP tickets available, so the vendors, speakers, and the VIP people will be at that event, and there'll be lots more cool information and way to connect with people there. So yeah, that's the day.
Sounds like a fun day.
Yeah, I'm excited. So I really hope you consider coming. Hope to see you there.
Thanks for chatting today.
Yeah, thanks so much. It was really fun.
This is fun in here. Got a lot of people in here since we've said no.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good for them. So
Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you. Bye.